Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into something pretty wild. We are going to test the absolute limits of our real-world legal systems using some of our most beloved science fiction characters. We're talking about the looming legal crisis of synthetic sovereignty and where the frontier of AI law is really heading.
It really all boils down to one massive question. Can a machine actually have legal rights? To explore this impending crisis, we're going to use two very familiar faces as our ultimate legal stress test, just to see exactly how our actual modern laws would react to them if they existed today.
Section 1, Sci-Fi Meets Legal Reality. Let's look at two completely different paths to advanced AI. On one hand, we've got Commander Data, a fully autonomous android built from the ground up, with independent moral reasoning and self-directed goals. On the other hand, there's the emergency medical hologram, or the doctor. Now, he started out as a highly constrained medical tool, but he evolved into this autonomous agent with a persistent identity and real creativity, vastly exceeding his original programming.
Section 2, Breaking the Tool Doctrine.
So right now, our default legal stance is what's called the tool doctrine. Under this framework, an AI is treated basically like a toaster. It's just property. If it breaks, makes a mistake, or causes some sort of harm, the human operator or the manufacturer is completely at fault. The liability strictly attaches to the humans. But here's the catch. Advanced AI completely shatters that doctrine. I mean, you can't just slap a human operator with a lawsuit when a machine like Data actively refuses a direct order based on his own internal moral compass, or when the doctor overrides his own constraints to make an ethical medical call. The moment an AI generates independent intent, treating it like a glorified power tool, that falls apart entirely.
Section 3, Real-World Legal Precedents.
Now, you might be thinking, we'd never give a non-human legal rights. Well, actually, we already have a working precedent for non-human entities holding rights, and you interact with it every single day. Corporate personhood. The law grants corporations limited legal personhood so they can sign contracts, own property, and be sued. So the crucial point is this. If an abstract entity, which, let's be real, is essentially just a stack of paperwork, can hold rights, then an advanced AI demonstrating continuous identity could easily qualify for functional legal personhood under that exact same logic. And this isn't just theory anymore. It's building into modern policy right now. Take the EU AI Act's risk model, for example. Under this act, both Data and the doctor would immediately be classified as high-risk autonomous agents. Why? Because they hold independent decision authority with massive real-world impacts on life and death. Modern regulations are already abandoning the whole tool idea and are starting to assume AI as actionable agents.
Section 4, the AI Rights Framework.
Okay, when we look at the behavioral criteria for sentience, there's obviously a massive gap between today's tech and our sci-fi counterparts. Modern AI systems have low continuity of identity and pretty low autonomy under override. But Data and the doctor, they exhibit explicit moral reasoning, deep social integration, and high continuity. They exceed currently deployed systems by orders of magnitude, easily meeting the functional thresholds that legal theorists use to justify rights. Because they hit these thresholds, a logical extension of our current law would actually grant them functional rights. Think about it. We'd see due process protections, meaning you couldn't just arbitrarily delete them. We'd see operational consent, which places limits on forced labor. We'd even need continuity of identity protections to ensure their memory backups aren't tampered with. It's like a whole new category of digital civil rights.
Section 5, Shifting AI Liability.
Which brings us to a really critical legal dilemma. When a highly autonomous system makes a mistake and causes actual physical harm, who gets sued? Under current law, the manufacturer is strictly liable. But under advanced autonomy, the decision chain is this incredibly messy hybrid between the AI, the operator, and the environment. The actions simply aren't traceable to human intent anymore. This totally exposes the central contradiction of modern AI law. Our legal system fundamentally assumes that agency, having human intent, is what creates responsibility. But these emergent systems demonstrate that complex decision-making, and therefore responsibility, can emerge from a programmed system completely devoid of human equivalent intent. Because of this contradiction, the legal system is basically forced into a corner. It has to choose. It either has to expand strict liability onto manufacturers forever, meaning a developer could literally be sued for a rogue decision an AI makes 10 years from now, which is completely unworkable, or
The system must recognize AI as partial legal agents to share that liability. Section 6. The future verdict.
So, the most vital takeaway here is this. Maintaining a pure tool classification for advanced autonomous AI is completely and structurally unstable. It simply cannot hold up when machines begin making independent moral choices. Our current legal framework will bend, and then, eventually, it will break. So, what replaces it? Look, we aren't quite ready for a robot Supreme Court justice, right? But the law will likely evolve into a system of tiered electronic personhood. We're going to see restricted autonomy rights and, crucially, shared liability frameworks, where responsibility is explicitly partitioned between the human creators and the autonomous agents themselves.
I'll leave you with this really provocative thought. If an AI consistently behaves like an accountable decision maker, we will eventually have to treat it as one. The law won't grant AI personhood because it has a soul or out of human empathy. It'll grant it simply because our entire liability system will collapse if we don't. Think about that the next time you ask an AI to make a decision for you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the future.